Welcome grade 12s, yes, to your favorite learning program, Matrics Uploaded. I'm Ashraf Patel and we're looking forward to a relationship because by the end of this year, we want to see an A for accounting. And how are we going to do that? By getting right into it. Let's go for it. What are we looking at today? We are looking at the bank reconciliation statement. And where do we start this thing off? Now remember, very often, one thinks that matric is only work that you've done in matric. Certainly not. Especially for a subject like accounting, where you have to know the work that you've covered in grade 10, the work that you've done in grade 11, and certainly the work that you've covered in grade 12. So it's a process. And everything that you've done over the years is definitely examinable in grade 12. And you will notice that when we structure our lessons, we start from what we think to be very easy and how it impacts on the work that will eventually be examined in your matric paper. So therefore, let's get right on with the cash journals. Now, what are your cash journals all about? If you look at this here, you will find that you have a cash receipts journal. Now, what is your cash receipts journal used for? It's primarily used to record all monies that we have received. Got that? And this is old hat, but I'm sure you will notice that a reminder is often beneficial to you. So the next journal that we'll look at is your cash payments journal. And remember, in this journal, you're going to record all payments that have been made by check. In other words, all the checks that we have issued will appear in our cash payments journal. Got that? Right. Now, let's look at an example of a cash receipts journal. Now remember, although in grade 12, you may be thinking that this is great stuff that I've done in grade 8 maybe in EMS, but important, understand the format of your journal. And remember that in your journal, you are recording pertinent information. For example, in this one here, it's MAPS bike services. It's the cash receipts journal. There's a document column. There's a details column. There's a bank column. And for what the monies were received, in this case here, you can clearly see it was for your capital. Got that? Okay, let's move on. Now, what are possible entries that you could make in your cash receipts journal? Let's list them so you can see. Obviously, cash sales. All the monies that you are receiving in the form of cash sales will definitely be entered into your cash receipts journal. Then you're going to be receiving money from your debtors. Important consideration, because these monies must be deposited into our bank account and therefore will be entered into the cash receipts journal. Now you may be asking the question, what has this got to do with bank recon? Watch, you'll see just now. Loans that you are receiving, all the loans that you have received will be entered into your cash receipts journal. Why? Because you are receiving that money. So take note of that. You will also have interest on your current account. That's right. If there's any monies that you have in the bank, if you have a favorable bank balance, then the bank will give you interest on your current account. That will also have to be recorded in your cash receipts journal. You may have certain investments, and when that investments mature, and when that investment, you have returns on that investment, money flows into your bank account. In other words, what are we saying? We're saying that the cash receipts journal is recording all inflows of cash into our business. Got that? Brilliant. And obviously, there may be more transactions, but as and when you come across them, you will be able to identify these. Let's now look at the cash payments journal. Remember, what are we going to use this for? whenever you purchase any item, you're going to issue a check. This will have to be entered in your cash payments journal. There will be payments made for salaries and or wages. Now remember that these payments are effected after the salaries and wage journals have been drawn up. You know exactly what I'm talking about because you are au fait with this. You've done this before. It's not new to you. The dishonoring of checks. If a person does not have sufficient amount of money in their bank account, the bank will not honor that particular check. It will therefore be regarded as a dishonored check. So keep that in mind. Fixed deposits, obviously, you're taking out money out of your bank account into a fixed deposit. If you owe the bank money, if you begin to use the bank's money, like they were giving you interest when you had a favorable bank balance, when you start using their money, nothing for nothing and very little for 5 cents. But what do? They charge you interest on your overdraft. Bank charges, these are charges levied by the bank for services that they've rendered to us. These are what we will enter into our cash payments journal. And again, many more entries. Now, what do we do with all of this? Remember, we will now enter this into our bank account. That means we will post the cash receipts journal. There's it. Into your details will be sundry accounts. That's the total amount of money that we have received. The total amount that we have paid, sundry accounts. Remember, you can also use for this one here, total receipts. For your payments, total payments. You've posted to the bank account, and your bank account now has a balance. Okay, so we're getting to the real stuff. So if you want to be with the real stuff, stay with us. We'll be back with you in a while.